About a quarter of US adults under 30 regularly get their news from TikTok, according to an October study from Pew Research. So basically, this means a lot of Americans are susceptible to Chinese propaganda. So is TikTok a national security threat? So Brent, a couple GOP lawmakers have moved to ban TikTok on the grounds that it presents a risk to our national security because of potential foreign interference from China, which is a growing adversary on the world stage and to us. What do you make of that?
Yeah, so Senator Rubio and a couple of his congressional colleagues have introduced a bill to ban TikTok in the United States. The two primary concerns that they're suggesting are first that they could have their privacy implications. There was a report that came out a couple weeks ago about how the TikTok employees in China, which is TikTok's owned by the company ByteDance, which is owned and operated within China, that the employees over in China have access to user data from the European Union specifically, which could also mean the United States. So there's privacy concerns there that the CCP could be tracking and creating profiles based on American and Europeans' data. But the second one is also alluding to what we talked about at the top, which was how people get their information. A lot of people are getting their information from TikTok, and if TikTok is operated by a Chinese company, there's a lot of concerns about suppression of important information. We know that the CCP is going to do everything they can to prevent any information on Tibet, Taiwan, the Uyghur genocide. There's all kinds of things that we have concerns about there, and especially if this is becoming a more mainstream news source, we have to figure out how we're going to address that.
Right. I've also been reading that there could be some child safety issues with TikTok. A recent Forbes article from just a few days ago, the headline reads, "These TikTok accounts are hiding child sexual abuse material in plain sight." So evidently there's a lot of loopholes in TikTok's content moderation policies that allow for predators to infiltrate the site and kind of prey on especially young girls that are very impressionable, probably seeking validation on social media. And there's either child pornography or child trafficking going on through TikTok. And, I don't think that's been raised enough by lawmakers recently. So beyond just the China implications, we're also seeing that kids might be in danger because of how ever-present TikTok is in our culture.
Sure. And I think, this is something that is probably a larger issue than TikTok, right? The effects of social media and of the internet on kids is astronomical, and it affects even younger and younger children. Wasn't that long ago that I was a teenager and I wanted to be on as many social media programs as I could, and even just a couple years removed from that, I'm like, oh, maybe that wasn't so great for me, and I can see that it's having a pretty terrible impact on other people as well. So I think you're right. There are a lot of social media implications for this that go beyond sort of the China angle.
Didn't Trump already try to ban TikTok?
Yeah, so Donald Trump did issue an executive order attempting to force TikTok to sell to an American-owned company. And that order was struck down in the courts, and then before it could really get litigated, the Biden administration rescinded that. They took power, they rescinded that. And what's been really interesting is going along with all of these privacy concerns, exploitation concerns of younger children, what's interesting is that the Biden administration and other Democrats, we saw this a lot this cycle, them using TikTok and really leaning into the culture. So they're saying, well, this is where the American culture is going, might as well embrace it, might as well use it to get a few votes out of it. We saw the videos of people like Tim Ryan and Gretchen Whitmer dancing on TikTok trying to get out the vote, right?
Yeah.
And so what we're seeing is the Democratic Party full-scale embracing TikTok and not acknowledging the real concerns that lie beneath it, both to the culture, the morality of our youth, and to the challenges that might lie within the national security structure. So that's I think really interesting as we try and push again for banning TikTok, is to see that you're actually starting to finally see some Democratic lawmakers being like, well, maybe Trump was right on this one.
And you could argue that the GOP's outreach to youth was very lackluster. Obviously, Gen Z overwhelmingly went for Democrats in the midterm elections, and apparently they really cut into the red wave that we had all anticipated and that was hyped up so extensively in the media. So, but I think Republicans didn't want to play that game. We didn't want to use a platform that a lot of us feel is ethically compromised. And so time will tell as these concerns continue to develop surrounding TikTok. We'll see whether lawmakers actually take action against it. And speaking of the midterms, it did not go well for Republicans. And because of that, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy's prospects of becoming House Speaker following Nancy Pelosi are somewhat on edge right now. Even though he won an internal election yesterday for the position, it's still uncertain whether he will land it in the end. Check out our last video on who will become the next Speaker of the House.